2026 World Cup is about to introduce the world to a generation of young players who are already doing things on a football pitch that most players take a decade to develop. And while the legends like Messi and Ronaldo take their final bows this summer, it is the teenagers and early 20s players who are going to steal the show. And these are 10 young players who could absolutely explode at the 2026 World Cup. Number 10 is Franco Mastantuono, the teenage Argentine who signed for Real Madrid and immediately looked at home at one of the biggest clubs on earth, and who plays with a swagger and a confidence that reminds coaches and scouts of a young Angel Di Maria. And with the 2026 World Cup potentially being Lionel Messi's final tournament, Argentina will be looking for the next generation to step forward, and Mastantuono has every quality required to be the player who does exactly that, with a creativity and a vision in midfield that is genuinely extraordinary for someone of his age. Number 9 is Kobbie Mainoo, the Manchester United midfielder who announced himself to the world at Euro 2024, where he played with a composure and a maturity that made people genuinely forget they were watching a teenager, and who has the kind of ability to control the tempo of a game and break through defensive lines that England have been searching for in central midfield for the better part of a decade. And if Thomas Tuchel trusts him with a starting role at the World Cup, Mainoo has everything required to become one of the tournament's standout performers. Number 8 is Arda Güler, the Turkish magician at Real Madrid, whose left foot is already being described as one of the most gifted in European football, and who has the vision, dribbling ability, and the goal-scoring instinct to be the kind of player who defines a World Cup tournament. And while Turkey's qualification was not guaranteed, Güler has shown repeatedly that he is capable of producing moments of individual brilliance that can change the outcome of any match on earth, and a fully fit and confident Arda Güler at a World Cup is one of the most exciting prospects in world football right now. Number 7 is Cole Palmer, the Chelsea forward who has been one of the most consistent and clinical attackers in the Premier League, and who carries himself with the kind of quiet confidence that only the very best players possess, and who at Euro 2024 came off the bench and immediately changed the game against Spain in the final, showing the entire world that the biggest stage does not affect him in the slightest. And with a full summer of preparation behind him, Palmer arrives at the 2026 World Cup as one of England's most dangerous and most important players. Number 6 is Pedri, the Barcelona midfielder who has already been compared to Andres Iniesta and Xavi by people who watched both of those players in their prime, and who combines a technical ability with a football intelligence that makes him almost impossible to dispossess, and who has already won a European Championship with Spain and knows exactly what it takes to perform at the highest level of international football. Number 5 is Estevão, the Brazilian teenager who joined Chelsea from Palmeiras and immediately started producing moments of magic that had the entire football world paying attention, and who has already scored 5 goals in 4 starts for the Brazilian national team, which tells you everything about the confidence his coaches have in him. And Brazil have not won the World Cup since 2002, and the pressure on every generation that follows is enormous, but Estevão plays with the kind of freedom and joy that suggests the pressure does not touch him, and a fully fit Estevão at a World Cup in North America could genuinely be the most exciting individual story of the entire tournament. Number 4 is Désiré Doué, the 20-year-old French winger who has already announced himself on the biggest stage in club football, winning the Champions League Young Player of the Season as Paris Saint-Germain claimed their first ever European title, and who possesses a combination of pace and technical brilliance that makes him one of the most exciting attackers in the world at his age. And Nike chose him, not Mbappé, as the face of their campaign launching the France jerseys for the 2026 World Cup, which tells you everything about the way the football world now sees him. And France arrive in North America with one of the deepest and most dangerous squads on the planet. And Doué is the player with the freedom and the flair to do something unexpected and unforgettable when the tournament is at its most intense. Number 3 is Endrick, the 19-year-old Brazilian striker who carries the weight of an entire nation's expectations expectations and wears it like it was made for him, and whose story alone could fill a documentary, growing up in poverty with his family before scoring 165 goals in 169 games for Palmeiras youth teams, and then moving to Real Madrid as one of the most anticipated arrivals in years. And while his time at the Bernabeu was frustrating and limited, he responded by joining Lyon on loan and producing 11 goal contributions in 12 games to force his way back into Brazil's plans, and Carlo Ancelotti named him in the squad for Brazil's final friendlies before the World Cup. And if Endrick makes it onto that plane to North America and finds himself in a tournament he has dreamed about his entire life, do not be surprised if he becomes its most electric personality. Number 2 is Pau Cubarsí, the 19-year-old Spanish center back who plays with the composure and intelligence of someone a decade older, and who has already spent 2 full seasons as an undisputed starter at Barcelona, surpassing 100 first-team appearances, won La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the Super Cup, and claimed Olympic gold with Spain. And what makes him so extraordinary is not just the trophies or the statistics, but the absolute calmness with which he does it all. And Sports Illustrated and ESPN ranked him as the 6th best center back in world football before he had even turned 19. And Spain arrive at the 2026 World Cup as one of the tournament favorites, and their defensive foundation runs through a teenager from Girona who has never once looked like the occasion was too big for him. Number 1 is Lamine Yamal, the 18-year-old Barcelona winger who is already being described by people who have seen every great player of the modern era as potentially the most talented teenager since Lionel Messi himself, and who won Euro 2024 with Spain at just 16 years old and was named Young Player of the tournament while assisting the winning goal in the final against England. And since then, he has only continued to improve at a rate that genuinely defies explanation, and Spain arrive at the 2026 World Cup as one of the clear favorites to win the entire tournament. And Lamine Yamal is the player who will carry their attack, and if he performs anywhere near his best level this summer, we will spend the next decade talking about what we witnessed and telling people we were watching from the very beginning. So let us know in the comments which one you are most excited to watch this summer. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, because we will see you in the next one.